Good morning. I'm on my second cup of coffee here. I've got a bunch of milk in here. I don't know, maybe 6 ounces. Could even be 8. And I'm going to make some double espresso scuro, which is 2.7 ounces. But I'm going to run it through for sure twice. So I want to try to explain to you something about why the healthy lifestyle program that I coach is different than a diet, and why, that's the weight loss component. Of course, it also helps you to install in your life all kinds of other healthy habits. But, okay, the way you establish a habit is by repetition, okay? And if you want to, let's say you want to lose weight, all right? Well, usually, you set a certain time. I'm going to go on a diet from this date to this date, and every day and every meal and every time you eat, you're vigilant. You're making sure you follow the rules and what you're eating is on the plan and all this. And then you finally get down to the weight you want. And what happens? Basically, you stop watching. You stop being vigilant. And what happens then? You go back to your old habits. You know what it's like? I heard this description in the book, The Upward Spiral by Alex Korb, about little things that you can do to help lift you up out of depression. And he said, if you put a plate of cookies on the table and you have a dog, that dog, if you leave the plate unattended, it's going to eat the cookies because that's what dogs do. But if you stand there watching, and the dog knows you're watching, it's a lot less likely that the dog's going to grab those cookies. But sooner or later, you're going to have to leave. You'll get a phone call, you got to go to the bathroom, you got to leave the house for some reason. And what's going to happen? You're no longer being vigilant, and that dog eats those cookies. It's the same way when you're on a diet to lose weight, or to gain weight for that matter, and you're watching what you're eating. It's like watching that plate of cookies, to make sure nothing happens to it. But then, when you get done with your diet, I think I'll run this through one more time. You're no longer watching. You go back to your old ways of doing things. Okay, the difference in the plan that I coach is that my plan helps you to install other habits and push out those bad habits so that by time you have gotten to the weight that you want, your brain has learned, instead of to have the automatic response of, eat the cookies or drive through Dairy Queen or, have second helpings or whatever it is, your brain has learned, has practiced and learned by repetition to handle things differently, to stop, to challenge the situation. Why do I want to do this? To choose, to be free, to make a different choice. And the motto of the program is lifelong transformation, one healthy habit at a time. So if you understand that the brain works most efficiently by habits, that when you're not putting forth an effort, when you're not watching, when you're just living everyday life, that it will kind of fall back on what it's been accustomed to doing, what's been ingrained. you can relate this to other things in your life. If it's hard for you to do with the concept of food, let's take, well, I've been talking about the people in my apartment complex who don't pick up after their dogs, and how, whenever I would see evidence of that, I would just get all, it would make me upset, and if I kept thinking about it, I would, just sort of have a negative view of a lot of other things too. But even though it was uncomfortable at first, I practiced over and over and over, not reacting. And now I'm to the point where I see, if somebody didn't pick up, it's like, this is how people are. It's become a habit to not have that sort of angry, negative response anymore. I mean, I used to have that response just like that. Now, I'm not having that negative response anymore. I say negative because it was negative for me. I don't need to raise my blood pressure up over somebody else not following the rules and not being considerate of other people, because I have no control over what they do. I only have control over what I do. So I am trying to work on in my life the things that I can control. One of those things is to establish healthy habits. And the healthy lifestyle program that I use and that I help other people in helps you to learn how to do that, so that when you get, for example, if you're using it for weight loss, when you get to your goal weight, you have the habits installed to maintain that. You don't have to be on a diet for the rest of your life. You know how you've seen people, and someone will say, oh yeah, she's always on a diet, always dieting. No, you can always be living healthy. Takes a little bit of work to get there, okay? The more pleasant a habit is that you're trying to install, the easier your brain takes to it. For example, it's a lot easier to, let's say, eat chocolate every day. Let me use the example of coffee, okay, of my little coffee routine. That is a pleasant thing for me. I enjoy, talking with y'all. I enjoy experimenting with coffees. It creates good chemicals in my brain. But let's say if I'm trying to install the habit of getting up and running. I don't run that much now at my age, but I do jog a little bit when I'm walking the dog. But if I was trying to install that, and I have done this before in my life, the first several days, a couple of weeks, maybe even a little longer than that, it can be difficult because there are not so many good feelings, good chemicals happening in my brain like there are with my coffee routine. So it takes longer before my brain, gets in the groove of this is what we do every day. This is what we do every day. But, progress is progress, no matter the speed. And some habits take longer to ingrain than others. And that's okay, that's just a fact of life. The point is that, like if I was trying to install the habit of running every day, I would have to spend some time, if you go back to the example of the dog with the plate of cookies, I'd have to spend some time being vigilant and watching to make sure that everything happened. I'd have to set things up every day, like have my running shoes ready, have my outfit ready, have my route planned, my warm-ups planned, all this kind of thing, not just first thing in the morning, wake up and go, oh, wait, I have to find my shoes. I don't know where I put them. Oh, I think my running clothes are in the laundry. No, you know, I would do everything I needed to do to make it easier for me to practice that habit or that thing that I want to make into a habit. And so on the program that I coach, you get a coach, a personal coach. You get a supportive community of like-minded people who are trying to accomplish what you're trying to accomplish, which is to improve your health in all the myriad ways that people need to do. It's different for everybody. And it's also very much the same for everybody in that we all have to push out the bad habits by putting in the good habits. You also get education. It really helps to understand stuff. You know, like even the simple understanding that it's easier to install some habits rather than others. An example of one of the reasons I love this program, on the weight loss component, we have meal replacements that are really healthy for you. And they taste good. And they are on the go. They just, excuse me, they either just take a minute or two to prepare, like in the microwave or to mix up with water, or they're already ready to eat. And you don't have to be always thinking about food and, you know, planning menus and shopping lists and cooking and preparing and everything. It's very, very easy. And it tastes good, you know, so that helps create nice brain chemicals too, and that make you look forward to eating. You get to eat every 2 to 3 hours also. Keeps your blood sugar and your insulin nicely modulated instead of woo, up and down. No slumps. You don't have any slumps on this program. Anyway, I'm going to drink my coffee before it gets cold. If you are interested, I'm using the program right now to take off some extra weight I had put on. Thank you, COVID. And I should say no thank you. And if you'd like to join me, please, you know, get in touch with me. You can see I'm doing good. More importantly, I'm feeling good. I'm really enjoying my life. I'm feeling more comfortable in my own skin. I'm happy and upbeat. I would love to share this experience with you. Have a great day.